Thank you very much for joining us once again. This is the Liverpool Brothers podcast, and it was Liverpool 2, Fulham 0. This was a game at Anfield. And although you would normally expect Liverpool to win such a game at Anfield, there was a lot of trepidation. There was a lot of uncertainty surrounding this game. I actually predicted Liverpool were going to lose again. But lo and behold, when you expect Liverpool to win, they lose. And when you expect them to lose, they end up winning. That is what happened in this particular game against Fulham. What did you make of the lineup, first of all, before we get into the game?
Yeah, before the lineup came out, I saw you tweet something in our group, our WhatsApp group chat about you expecting changes in the lineup we used against PSG. You were expecting Rio to start, and evidently everything you said, that is what the manager came out with. And I like the lineup when I saw it. It gave me a bit of vim that we could get a result against Fulham, and that is what also transpired. Mamadashvili in goal, Robertson at right back really worked well with Rio Ngumoha in that lineup. I like that sort of experience with youth. If it is Kekes and Rio, it is a bit inexperienced on that side of the flank. So I like Robertson pairing with Rio Ngumoha on that left hand side.
Yeah. Now, when you look at the lineup, I think people were also raising questions about Gakpo. So I think that was the main issue, the fact that Gakpo was playing in the number 9. But for me, what I thought was Ekitike needs a rest. He needs to be given the time off, because we've seen lately that when he plays consecutive games within 3 days, it tends to affect his performance. And although he didn't really play well against PSG in France, we need him in the return leg at Anfield. We need him to be at his utmost. So for me, I did like it. I thought that even if Gakpo doesn't play well, the fact that we have Ngumoha, we have Salah, we can get the goals from them. And that is what happened in the game. First half, how did you see the first half? I think the first half, we didn't start quite well, but later on we grew into the game. And the goal actually settled things down for us. What do you think was the difference in this particular game compared to our previous games where we've literally thrown away the first half?
The difference is quite simple. The difference is Rio Ngumoha in that first half. The difference is quite simple for me, because looking at the first half before the goal, I wasn't seeing how we were going to get the goal. We were getting bits of possession. I think there were spells within that first half where Fulham looked really dangerous. They looked like scoring, and it looked like we would go to the halftime break at 0-0. But a bit of individual brilliance, which I've heard Arne Slot speak about that previously, about sometimes the team needing that sort of individual brilliance from one of our attackers to break the deadlock. And that is what happened, because that particular goal was not a chance. I think it was a bit of a transition that we got. Florian Wirtz slipped the ball through on the left-hand side to Rio Ngumoha. You know, that kind of shimmy that he does. And then that is how we got the first goal. So, I mean, I think Rio Ngumoha was the main difference in us scoring that first goal. I didn't really see much of maybe a tactical master game plan or anything like that. For me, it was individual brilliance.
Yeah, I actually do agree. When you look at the attacking display that we put up yesterday, it wasn't really the best. Just that we were able to get the first goal, like you said, and then we went on to get the second goal as well. What did you make of the fact that he started Jones in that midfield role, in the deep line midfield role, instead of Gravenberch? How do you think that impacted our ability to play the ball from the back? Because I think there was a slight change in that. For me, I saw Jones was doing a very good job trying to help us progress the ball from the back.
Yeah, Jones did well in that aspect, and Curtis Jones is a player that really frustrates a lot of Liverpool fans and myself, rightly so. I mean, I think ability wise, he's got it. It's just about consistency, doing it week in, week out for Liverpool. It's just about consistency. It's just about consistency. I watched Curtis Jones against Inter Milan at the San Siro. That was one of his better performances. He was so good in that game. His forward play, the way he controlled the game. This was a game that had Nico Barellas and Yolo and the likes in that midfield, but he absolutely bossed it. The following week, he turned up again, but then subsequently after that, he started to go off a little bit again. Then he dropped to the bench again. And so for Curtis Jones, given this sort of performance, it's not something we've not seen before. We've seen him do it before. And I think Gravenberg also needed that rest. So quite rightly, Curtis Jones really did well. He justified his inclusion in the starting lineup, I thought.
Yeah, that is true. I think it was quite unfortunate to have him come off in that first half due to an injury. That is quite disappointing because we would need him in that midweek game against PSG.
Yeah.
So Salah also got a goal yesterday. It is always nice to see Salah score a goal. From now to the end of the season, every goal he scores is going to be a big celebration because we are going to miss him. He's leaving the club, and I think the rest of the season is very, very big for him. I'm sure he would want to make a statement before he leaves. So, what did you make of Salah's performance yesterday, especially in that first half? And I also do think in the second half, he had a few opportunities to try and either give an assist or score a goal, but it couldn't materialize.
Yeah, I think Salah was probably the one that got the major opportunity to break the deadlock, if I remember rightly. But the goalkeeper made a very good save um, down his right hand side, made a very good save to keep Salah from scoring that first goal. And then you look at the finish for that second goal that we scored, typical Salah goal. It comes in, and the way the ball drops, it is the ball. The way the ball drops, it just tells you it doesn't need a touch. Let's just whip it around the post, and that is what he did. And it went inside the post for that second goal. His overall performance got a few chances. I liked his energy. I like his runs. Not too much of the Salah we know from last season, but it was an improved performance on what we've seen before. So I don't know if that means he starts against PSG after being on the bench for the whole game at the game at the Parc des Princes. I think he starts against PSG. He probably needs that sort of confidence going into that game because if we are to get a result in that game, we need him to be at his very best. So I like his energy levels, and he got that goal. And I mean, you said it as well. From now to the end of the season, whenever Salah scores, we have to um, be in a good mood to give him all the credit that
Yeah,
he
it's going to
deserves
be a
for
big
the career he's
celebration.
had at Liverpool. Because every goal that he scores could be his last ever goal that he has scored for Liverpool. This could be his last goal he has scored at Anfield. So it means that every time he gets on the score sheet, it will be a very special moment for himself and for Liverpool fans.
Yeah, another thing that is worth noting is Liverpool kept a clean sheet in a very, very long time. I don't know how many games since, but I love a clean sheet, and we
Yeah.
haven't kept one. So I haven't been very happy these days, no matter what the result is. If it doesn't result in a clean sheet, man, it kills me. And yesterday we got a clean sheet. Do you think this clean sheet was as a result of something fundamentally changing in our energy trying to defend? Was it due to lack, or Fulham just weren't just they just weren't good enough to get a goal?
Uh, I mean, this question takes me to the chance that Emil Smith Rowe misses that chance. And if the story of our season, if we are going by that, that goal would have been a goal. Every time Liverpool have lost games, we've lost it in a similar manner. We start the game quite decent, trying to control the game, trying to make chances, but we aren't really able to create any chances. And then one chance slips in behind our goal. And then the very maybe half chance that the opponent gets, we concede a goal. So that chance going off target, maybe was a sign that maybe today was our day, and maybe today we didn't have that bad luck. So um, probably a bit harsh to say that the clean sheet wasn't necessarily to do with how brilliant Liverpool were off the ball, although it was a slight improvement on PSG. But Fulham are a whole new different beast to that PSG side, so you can't really compare. But I think Fulham, I didn't think they were really at their best, especially Rodrigo Muniz. He didn't really pose a threat to Van Dijk and Konate at the top end of the field. Maybe Raul Jimenez would have probably done better. He's a bit more better with his back to goal and bringing others into play. Alex Iwobi, Emmitt Smith Rowe. So maybe it's a combination of us being lucky that that chance from Emmitt Smith Rowe doesn't go in, together with maybe the lack of quality at the top end of the pitch from Fulham on the day.
Yeah, so to you, Liverpool didn't really do anything different in terms of defending well. The defending was still not good enough. Okay,
For me,
so
no.
yeah, I also do think the same. I think we were still a bit too open for my
Yeah,
liking against
a bit
Fulham at
too.
home. I expect more. I expect the team to be much tighter. I expect them to not have much, maybe one shot on target or two shots. But as the season has been so far, we tend to give the opponent too much room. And that is why I think against PSG, it is going to be a very, very difficult game. But before we go into that PSG return leg at Anfield, let's look at the title. Sorry, I was going to say title race, but Liverpool are not in a title race. So we can't talk about a title race today. Finishing in the top 5, qualifying for Europe. How do
Yeah.
you see our chances now, given that City, Chelsea lost today, Liverpool have won? Do you think we are going to make it into the Champions League next season?
We have a chance. Mathematically, we have a better chance than Chelsea, especially with the advantage of us to the top 5 from England qualifying straight to the Champions League. If it was the top 4, it would have been a bit difficult, because Aston Villa are still, I think, 2 points or 3 points ahead of us in fourth place. But it looks like we have a bit of a cushion now with Chelsea losing to Manchester City. So the top 5 race is in our hands. We have to make sure we qualify at all costs. And I think probably the fixture list is what will determine if we have a chance, because we still have to go to the Goodison, not the Goodison Park anymore, the Hill Dickinson Stadium, which will be a very difficult game because Everton will know that we need a win. And this is a side that really up their level. It's not just about how good or bad Everton's form is when they meet Liverpool. They usually raise their standard, raise their game because the occasion demands that. Their fans would demand that, especially playing at their home venue. And this will be the first time Liverpool go to the Hill Dickinson Stadium. So they will want to make sure we don't get a win in our first visit to that stadium. So that will be a difficult fixture. So the fixtures will determine, and we have Crystal Palace to play at home. We will play Man U away, which is a very difficult one. We also have Chelsea, we have Villa, we have Brentford. So our fixtures are very difficult fixtures. But looking at table right now, we need to make sure we get in the top 5. We have everything in our favor in terms of the point gap. But although the fixtures are difficult, we still, I think we should have enough to make it into the top 5 of the Champions League.
Yeah, I do think the rest of our games are very, very difficult. In fact, I said earlier on that Liverpool have no difficult or easy game. We just have games. And if you think a game is difficult, Liverpool are going to win it. If you think it is easy, they are going to contrive to lose it. So I'm not even going to try and look at the fixtures anymore. I'll just wait till the games arrive and then just watch what happens, which Liverpool turns up, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's go into the return leg against PSG. We lost 2-0 at the Parc des Princes. We were totally dominated in that game. For me, it was a humiliation of a game. No Liverpool team should be dominated like that by any team in the world. I just don't care who the team is. But that was what happened in that game. Coming back at Anfield, we need to score a goal and we need to prevent them from scoring a goal. Do you think that this Liverpool team, this Arne Slot team would be able to prevent PSG from scoring and even get 2 goals? For me, it is about getting 2 goals, not even 3. 2 goals. But I do think that even if we get 2 goals and it goes to penalties, we are going to lose it because Arne Slot's team is not good at playing penalties. He doesn't prepare his team because he thinks penalties is a game of luck. So you don't need to prepare, or the preparation wouldn't make much difference. You just need to go in there, and if you are lucky, your keeper is going to save some of the penalties from the opponent, and you
Yeah.
are going to be able to score. From the way he speaks, that is my feeling. And I totally disagree with him. You need to prepare for everything in the game. But do you think Liverpool are capable of getting 2 goals in that game?
I don't think so. I I for one find it very difficult to analyze this game because I don't see how. I'm not seeing how we are doing this. I don't even think we win the game, not even to qualify. I don't see how we are winning this game. Our best could probably be a draw because I think PSG might come to Anfield and win again by a few goals, maybe another 2, or maybe we get a goal, maybe a 3-1 or a 2-1 scoreline by PSG. I don't see how we do it. I don't see how we do it, honestly, because I don't see how we will be able to prevent this PSG side from scoring. And I'm listening to Arne Slot's interview after the PSG game, and he's talking about Nuno Mendes and Hakimi, and he says something like, those fullback, they don't just run, they sprint. And it's like the way he's talking about them, it looks as if he's saying that PSG side is unbeatable. They are the best side. They are the best thing that has ever happened to football since sliced bread. It looks like he's giving them so much airtime in terms of how good they are. But it's the side that I saw Chelsea match them for 60 minutes at the Parc des Princes. And if it wasn't for Chelsea's naivety, Chelsea might probably have gotten something out of the game. I saw how Chelsea took the game to this Paris Saint-Germain side. So they're a beatable side. But this manager clearly is telling all of us that we probably don't stand a chance, and we were lucky to have been beaten by 2 goals to 0. A game that we were outplayed, outclassed, outmuscled. We played out of the park. This manager tells us that we are lucky to have lost 2-0 to this PSG side. So if a manager says this and he has a return leg, then I mean, clearly,
Yeah, I think
he
the
has
fact
thrown
that
the
he said
game
we were
away.
lucky was he was kind of admitting that we weren't good enough and we didn't deserve the 2-0. So he was kind of also reiterating what we have been saying, that that performance wasn't good enough. We should have actually gotten more from that game. So I just want to look at, you mentioned Salah possibly starting in this game
Yeah.
on Tuesday. Do you think he's going to start? If he's going to start, what is going to be the formation? Is it going to be the 4-4-2 that we played against Galatasaray in that return leg at Anfield? Or we are still going to stick to the 4-3-3 formation that we've been playing with?
Um, I think this is difficult. I think he should go with the Galatasaray one because we need a goal, and that the way we played that day helped us in getting those goals. The forward areas, we had more bodies in attack, so that helped us to get those goals. But knowing this manager and how he has spoken about the game, I don't think he does that. I think he will still try and limit the amount of damage they might probably do to us at the other end of the pitch. So maybe he might try to have more bodies in midfield. Um, and so I'm not too sure how he approaches the game. Ultimately, it's all about trying to get goals, trying to get a goal or two. That is the main thing going into the game. If we can get an early goal, that will help us in unsettling that PSG side, and maybe that can help us get another goal, and then maybe we can take the game to extra time. Um, maybe probably that might probably be the game plan going into the game, but I'm not too sure how he approaches the game. considering everything that he has said about the game from the first leg.
Yeah, I think he's going to go with a 4-4-2. He's going to play Salah and Ekitike up front and try to pack the middle of the pack. And I actually don't understand why we didn't go with that approach at the Parc des Princes, because I think that would have worked. The way PSG play, trying to drag players out of position, you need to pack the middle. For me, it was better to pack the middle than to play the 5-back, because that 5-back was absolutely atrocious. It made it very difficult for the players to interpret their roles. They also didn't have enough time to rehearse it in the training ground. So that made it very difficult for them. Usually, when you want to try a new formation, you need to keep it simple. This wasn't a simple thing for the players to do. And I think that is why we struggled. I think we should have gone with a 4-4-2 and try to stifle them, allow them to have possession in certain areas that are not dangerous in their own half. Allow them, don't press them. But once they approach the center circle, that is where you hand them down like dogs. And I think that would have worked to perfection. But coming to Anfield, that way of playing is really going to connect with the fans if we allow them to have possession in non-dangerous areas in their own final third. Don't press the goalkeeper, don't press the center backs. Focus on the midfield and the attackers. If we're able to do that and really play with energy, the fans are going to be behind the team. And maybe that would be able to help the team. So that is where we end our podcast today. Thank you very much for listening, everyone. Don't forget to smash the like button. It is very important so that the YouTube algorithm can suggest the video to viewers like you. And also don't forget to subscribe to the video if you are new here. Comment down below, let us know your thoughts, give us your prediction for the game, and let us know where you are watching from. That is also very important. Thank you. You will never walk alone.